Hey guys, how's it going? This is Yaji here. I just wanted to give you kind of a quick update and giving you something that actually you've been looking for quite some time. So with that being said, I'm just going to jump right into it, right? Oh, actually, hold on. Let's do this RP thing. Yeah. Alright. So, with all that being said, I really don't see the point in these kind of videos, but every single YouTuber seems to be doing them, all the high-rated PvPers and all that kind of stuff, and you guys have been asking for it. I will say, just briefly, that I like to teach you why and how things work, rather than just what to do. And that's all this video is going to be. So I don't know, they're not very, it's not fun to make, it's very mundane, but, yeah. So, I will jump in right into it. I'm going to talk about my gems, reforges, glyphs, all that kind of stupid stuff in just 1 second. I will tell you about the overall feeling of Death Knights in PvP. So, being a two-handed Frost Death Knight in PvP in 5.4, we are just clinging on to top damage, just a few percent, maybe even not even a whole percent above warriors for a single target DPS, and that's great and all, but we're just not as good as we used to be. We are glass cannons. We just go down, and it's really hard to be competitive as a Frost Death Knight. So know that off the bat. Anyway, I haven't PvP'd a lot this season though, but that's not the reason. Anyway, so we're gonna jump right into it. I think I'm gonna start with stat priority really quick. So give me a second. I think I have a video already of stat priority, and I don't want to get into the whole who, I, what, all that kind of stupid stuff. I'm just going to tell you exactly what you need to know. So looking up here, you're going to see that if you want to go check out the video, you most certainly can. But we need our two-handed stat priority for non-siege gear. That's us. That's PvP. So our stat priority is going to be haste, crit, and mastery. If you want to know why, go ahead and check the video. I'm not going to get into it. So that's good to know, and that's going to help us out when we're going to gem and all that fun stuff, right? So let's go ahead and look at gems right now. So the first thing you're going to notice actually is I have the reverberating primal diamond kind of bigger than everything else, right? It is the most important gem. You need your strength, and we're about auto critting, so you want that crit damage. So that's obviously the most important gem. The bold primordial ruby is your red gem. The tense imperial amethyst is your blue gem. And the fierce vermilion onyx is your yellow gem. Now, the one thing that you'll see that's kind of different here is a lot of DKs, pretty much every class just stacks straight strength, or straight primary stat, right? And this is doubly true for Frost Death Knights, because we do all that, increased strength. So I'm going to get into it a little bit, because a lot of people are going to do this differently, and here's exactly why I don't, and here's why I think they're wrong. I'll just flat out say it. They're wrong. When you go for something like a socket bonus, like this is a really good example right here, is I'm getting 140 strength from that blue gem because of the socket bonus. Because I'm hitting the socket bonus, so I'm only losing 20 strength if I put a regular red gem in there, but I'm gaining 80 PvP power. So there's no situation in which it's 20 strength equals 80 PvP power. There's no way. So almost every single time you want to go for the full socket bonus. The only one I would say is kind of contested here is the yellow socket. Here, because you get 60 PvP power out of it. Most of them are PvP power, but they're like 120 PvP power. So, something to bear in mind. But go ahead, go ahead and show all my gems. It's just strength, exactly what I just showed you. I'm going to pull it up again. You just need every single thing right here. Again, you can armory me. This is my Alliance DK, Starburns, but I'll type it in chat right here. My DK's name is just Yajirobe Tychondrius. If I can type today. Apparently not. So, that's what you'd want to do if you'd want to look me up. Anyway, so this is exactly what it's going to cover. So, now that we're done our gems, I'm going to want to go ahead and move on to our reforging and enchants. So, the enchants are super easy. We just want straight strength. And like the only thing that's going to be different here is like we're going to need crit on our cloak, and nothing's more important than run speed for melee, and especially for the slowest class in the game, the Death Knight. So that's really important that we get that. Even though it's mastery, and mastery is really bad for us, we'll take it anyway. The other thing I'm going to say is the weapon enchant. Rune of Fallen Crusader is so good. It's dancing steel, but it heals us too. So it's really required. But then, if you're a gangster like me and not rolling a trinket and you're not a human, you're going to need to have a second weapon with a disarm reduction. And we're going to go ahead and look at that right now. Yeah, okay, I already got it pulled up. It's called Rune of Sword Shattering. That's the two-handed version. It gives us 4% parry, which is also pretty nice, but also 50% disarm reduction, which is pretty great. Now, if you know exactly when that disarm is going to come, you can just swap to your other weapon, if you have enough conquest, that is. So it's definitely something you should be doing, or just pretty much always trinket disarm, because disarm is the most important CC. But that's about it for gems and enchants, actually. If I can get my menu back open. And we're going to talk about a little bit about reforging here. I think this stuff is all really straightforward, so that's why I really don't see the point in making a video, but you know what? We're going to keep trucking through it here. Something that's really important to know is actually hit and expertise used to be 3.5 each. I don't know what happened. Well, I don't know when it happened, but it changed. So I guess I do know what happened, right? But it's still 3.5 hit, but it's 5.5 expertise now. So just bear that in mind and make sure you're hitting that expertise cap. You can see I'm a bit shy of it, and that 1% parry is actually going to add up to a lot. You are going to want that 0% parry. But moving right along, again, remember our stat priority. I'll just pull it up here again. We just don't really need mastery. It's our AoE and frost strike damage. So we're going to try to dump all the mastery we can while trying to get the most haste we can, and we don't really want to reforge out a crit. But we will if we have to. Anyway, so that's kind of just it. Nothing really too complicated here. I do kind of want to mention I forgot to do it on my weapon. I need to dump that mastery. And here is something also good to mention is I'm over hit cap already, and this is a hit mastery ring. Well, I don't want mastery and I don't want hit because I'm over cap. Well, mastery is still going to benefit our frost strikes and our howling blast, whereas hit is just nothing. So you need to drop your hit. Even though you can get more haste by dropping mastery, you still want to drop the hit. With all that being said, it's pretty cheesy from here. That's kind of everything. Now let's go into talents and glyphs really quick. There's a bunch of glyphs that I want to talk to, so I kind of save them for last, because that's a little bit more of a discussion. So there's a bunch of things here, and they're not all right. So know that immediately. The first thing I'm going to talk about is my first tier talents. Plague Leech is straight up DPS increase. However, Unholy Blight is increase in utility because you're doing less stuff. So that's it's really up to you. If you think you're going to be able to smack some PvP guy like he's a target dummy, go ahead and take Plague Leech. Where other than that, I'm pretty sure Unholy Blight is just bottom line better. Lichborn, nothing can be. Don't be that Purgatory DK. Don't be that Sheet Death Rogue. Don't be those guys. No, just don't. Don't do that either. Lichborn's amazing. It's a trinket if you need it, or you can use it to heal, which is personally my favorite ability in the game. Death's Advance is awful. Chillblains is pretty good. It's based on your comp. Whatever you're fighting, Chillblains or Asphyxiate. Death Pact is really, really awful. Death Siphon is kind of awful. Conversion is the only one you really want. You can go Death Pact if it's a super burst comp in arenas, or if you're RBGing, Death Pact's probably a little bit better because you're going to get hard switched a lot as a Frost DK. Especially if you ever step foot out of Blood Presence. Last one, so this second to last one, is Runic Corruption. Everyone's contesting this. Runic Corruption's just better. You can go ahead and do the test yourself, or you can just do the math. Runic Corruption stacks, and these don't. So you can get, you can have this on potentially the entire fight if you get lucky with the procs, because it'll refresh the duration on the stack. So that's pretty OP. Other than that, Gorfien's Grasp, even though they nerfed the targets back, this is how long it's been since I RBG'd on my DK, but they nerfed the targets down from 10 to 4. So everyone stopped running Gorfien's Grasp. It's still really good, and it's also decent. It's plausible in arenas, because getting that third grip really really messes with some people's heads. They get really like it's kind of funny. But Remorseless Winter is my personal favorite because I think it's cool looking. But if you're against any kind of healer that knows what they're doing, this is a terrible talent. Again, I do this. I mostly do 2s carries, so when I'm fighting in the 1500, 1400 bracket, no one's dispelling. So Desecrated Ground is probably hands down the best. Now let's go ahead. Oh god, I'm a text message. And look at my glyphs. Again, keeping in mind that I've been doing mostly 2s carries or 1v2 Qs, these are not the best glyphs. Although there's only a couple viable glyphs. So let's go ahead and look at those right now. One is Anti-Magic Shell. It's kind of alright. It used to be mandatory. Every DK in the world ran this, but now no one really runs it. It's still good though. Chains of Ice, please don't be that guy. Dark Sim is crucial. This one is required based on what comp you're fighting, so keep that in mind. Death and Decay is really good, especially for like Pet Storm, or as you might know it as Stampede, or things like that. It's also a really good LOS slow, which is pretty amazing if you're kiting and doing any 1v2 and you can get any damage on them while LOS, more or less a slow, is kind of crazy. So I do like to use this as range slow when my Chains of Ice is down, and also as a LOS slow, or I can taunt the Pet Storm off of my ally and also slow it off myself. So this is pretty good, but probably not all that useful in most situations. Now, Icy Touch is also going to be required based on what comp you're running, not what comp you're facing. Dispels are necessary in every single arena. However, based on your comp, this is like a third of your... Like, Howling Blast does 3 times more damage single target, and then it does AoE too. You just don't want to ever Howling Blast to Icy Touch. So if you're with a mage or a priest that can dispel, you don't want to use this. So... depends on what comp you're running. Keep that in mind. So most of these glyphs are also trash, but Regenerative Magic is probably what I'd say mandatory. Kinda, yeah, it's kind of really, really good. I wouldn't run without it. I can't think of a situation I would. Strangulate, you will need Strangulate and Chillblains if you're going to fight a Mistweaver. Period. End of discussion. And the last thing I will talk about is Icebound Fortitude. Sounds like a really terrible glyph, but Icebound Fortitude's a really terrible cooldown. This I do use, but I only use it when I'm dueling and people that have a lot of stuns, like mages. If I run Icebound Fortitude, or I should say, if you run Icebound Fortitude against a duel as a Frost Mage, there should not be a single deep freeze that you can get out of. So it is pretty important to remember all these kind of glyphs you don't generally use. So with all that being said, guys, I hope you check it out, and also bear in mind that even though Death Knights, Frost Death Knights, aren't the best in PvP, it doesn't give you any reason not to try your best, because I still do pretty well, and you know what? It's always fucking awesome. So, thanks guys, I'll see you later.